How significant is this?
Oh, it's very significant. It's a very solemn day for the United States. Not only is Donald Trump now the first president ever to be impeached twice, amazingly in one term, but it's also the first time we've had a president impeached for insurrection, for turning people against the United States of America and our government. So it is momentous, and this will be a day that people will remember as long as we keep track of American history.
Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has ruled out fast-tracking the trial. When could we see things start to get underway, and how long could it go for?
Well, the Senate doesn't reconvene until the 19th, the day before the inauguration. I imagine that they're not going to start an impeachment trial the day before an inauguration, and we have a number of important events with a new president. He'll want to pass new legislation in the Congress where he has a majority in both houses, and he'll also want to be able to confirm the people who will be serving in his administration. So for all those reasons, he doesn't want the time of the chamber to be consumed entirely with an impeachment. So my guess is that it could go on for a while. Obviously, it won't be about removing President Trump from office, but it will be about preventing him from ever seeking office again and establishing for history what happened and that it can't happen again.
Given how tense things are over there at the moment, we've seen the amount of military on the streets preparing for protests. How important is the way that this timing is played out so as not to inflame the situation even further?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it has to be done in an orderly fashion. It has to be done with seriousness on both sides. I think they have to take the politics and the partisanship out of this. This is a very serious event. 5 people died in a storming of the Capitol, which was led by the President of the United States, who encouraged people to come to Washington, D.C., who told them that the election had been stolen from him and that the people responsible for allowing that to happen were standing in the Capitol building, and it was up to this crowd to stop them. And the results of that were predictable. So it's an important moment in American history, and I think we owe our children and future generations a proper accounting of it, devoid of the sort of gamesmanship, politics, and partisanship, but to really know what happened, why it happened, and how to make sure that sort of thing doesn't ever happen again.
Donald Trump has released a video message since that vote went through, but he didn't acknowledge impeachment at all. What did you make of his response?
Oh, I've really stopped watching his videos at this point. I mean, after the incident at the Capitol, where the President of the United States did not decry the awful conduct of those individuals, but instead said they were very special people and he loved them, I've stopped watching his videos.
What does all of this mean for Trump and for the Republican Party going forward?
Oh, I think that will be up to the Republican Party and up to Donald Trump. I don't think that Donald Trump will change the way he behaves. He never has. And I don't think that he will change his view about the outcome of the election being unfair to him, no matter how much evidence is presented to him. So it's going to be up to the Republican Party, to his colleagues in the GOP, to decide what kind of party they want to have, whether it's one which is built around an individual personality and relies on disinformation and falsehoods, or whether it's going to be the Republican Party that I grew up with, one that was a proper rival for the Democratic Party, a respected party, and one which was known as the Grand Old Party for good reason.
You've described the somber tones over there. What is the mood like in the United States at the moment?
I'd say the mood is tense. The people who stormed the Capitol and whose groups endorsed it and planned it and intended for it to be violent all along, they're emboldened by this. They don't see this as a failure or a setback. They've got free publicity. They've demonstrated strength in being able to, overpower, one of the most secure buildings in the country. And I think they're increasing their recruiting. And they've been talking about planned events, which we can expect to be similar type events at capitals around the country, state capitals, and on Inauguration Day. So I think there's a real tension in the United States about what have we unleashed? What have we done to our beautiful democracy? I have great confidence that America will find the right path. We've done this time and time again. Every 50 years or so, we lose our minds, and then we regain them, and we come back stronger. But this is a tense moment, and I think anyone who's celebrating or thinks that that they've accomplished something big is probably not thinking clearly and with enough perspective.
And finally, as you said, this is a history-making moment in America, the only president to ever be impeached twice. Do you think the Founding Fathers, those who drew up the Constitution, could have ever seen that this would occur?
Yes. In fact, the beauty of the Constitution had all sorts of flaws in it when it was written, but the beauty of it was the founders understood human nature extraordinarily well, and they understood that people who are given the opportunity to have this type of power would be tempted to try and consolidate that power, would relinquish it reluctantly. And in some cases, you would find individuals who are prepared literally to do anything to hold on to that power. And so they constructed a system that was designed to make it as difficult as possible for that to succeed. And impeachment was a big part of it. And I think they expected one day there would be a president who did some of the things we've seen over the last 4 years, but particularly over the last couple of weeks. And that's what this Constitution was written to stop, and hopefully it will.
Jeffrey Bleich, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Andrew.